Alright guys, so how's she going today? So she's well, she's starting to cloud over, but I think it's been a little while since I made a video. There's not much going on obviously, but I gotta make this video because I'm a little bit past due, but it is what it is. I just got them blowing some leaves into a windrow. I gotta rake all that into a pile later because we're gonna need that. And so yeah, so this is going to be, I guess, like a 500-hour review on this John Deere x724. I bought this thing back in 09. This is I had somebody look up the serial. I thought this was an 08, but I had a guy run the serial tag for me, and he said it was an 09. Come back to an 09. So my theory is that it's a 2009, of course, John Deere x724. She's a 4-wheel steer model. So you can see right there, 4-wheel steer. So that means all 4 tires turn. It's supposed to give you a little bit of a tighter turn. Whatever else. Yeah, so this mower, well, it's a mower right now, but it can be set up as like a garden tractor. Yeah, so this guy has the, let's see if we can get in here and show you this. It's got the 62-inch mower deck on it. And it's not a quick attach. It's well, it's not like those drive over type decks. You slide these out from either side, I guess, or whatever. But it's not bad. But on this mower, I kind of find out that I'm not really sure why it's doing that. But every time because I remove my deck, it's usually once or twice a year. And that's usually just in spring for cleaning the deck and sharpening the blades and inspecting everything. But you're supposed to be able to slide these decks out. I think pretty sure it was from this side. But for whatever reason, I think it's the lifting arms. They're not adjusted quite right or something. But I know that for quite a few years, this deck always had, when you would lift it, it would always kind of like, it'd make a grinding sound on that side, the driver's side, I guess it would be. And come to find out, the deck was out of level. So I readjusted all that, so it should be to how John Deere says it should be for cutting grass. So it doesn't grind as much. It started grinding again, but it's not as bad. I think something's just more decks just kind of wonky. But for a lot of the years though, when I didn't adjust it, when I never even bothered, I always would have to jack the front of the mower up, at least ½ inch or something, because there wasn't any clearance there. But I think it was because of the lift arms. And that obviously was because it wasn't level. So I haven't tried it yet since I've leveled the deck. And obviously I'm not going to do that until, obviously, spring, when I need to resharpen my blades again. But yeah, so like this machine has 500 hours. Well, it's got well over 500 hours now. It's 539.5. And yeah, I've had some minor issues here and there. It's nothing, like it never had to go back to the dealer or anything like that. It's always, you can fix it right here in the shop or something. So yeah, so there's not very much to talk about it because it's well, still running strong. See what? Well, all the gauges still work. Everything still works. I said everything is still working. I do need to get a new seat because this seat is, I mean, it's cracking here. This is new though, but from a number of years ago, I had a cat that just loved chewing on anything that had foam in it. And while this seat's got foam in it, so I'm gonna replace this seat. I'm gonna probably upgrade it to the one with the armrest, you know, something a little bit fancier. Be a little bit more money, but that's all right. And it's time for a new seat anyway. It's obviously it's gasoline. It's not diesel, and I've always been kind of a big fan of this this big opening. Not that you probably need it that big, but I like it. So, and as you can see, it's got the turf tires on it. That's obviously, and these are still the original turf tires to when I bought the machine brand new. I've never replaced any tires on here. The front tires are definitely destroyed. This one's got patches in it, and then the other tire, that's got slime in it. So that tire will eventually rot out. The rim will rot out. I'll have to replace the rim and the tire. So the rear tires, I've never touched them. Still original. And of course, I put the brush guard on when I ordered the machine or bought the machine. Another problem that I have is I have a broken headlight. Yeah, the mount here broke inside. So I'm going to have to replace that at some stupid freaking point, you know, as well. But I think it's just most likely the mount inside, because it's plastic and it's more, obviously it does a lot of vibrating, and it's just, yeah. So they should have done something a little bit better there. And then the brush guard is, you know, it's you know, pinned down there, but that's all that's keeping it on, really. But for some reason it's starting to open up, so everything's kind of tight when you go to remove the brush guard, because you have to remove it when you're taking the deck off. I think John Deere could have gotten around that with not having to remove the brush guard, to just simply remove the mower deck. But whatever. I guess John Deere was still kind of in their learning phases, I guess. I did add a battery tender to it, and the cap come off. I'll have to put the cap back on. Yeah. Oh, so I just got done using it, so it's just a little hot. The dipstick is dirty. For some reason I'm getting dirt coming up my, it seems like there's oil coming up the dipstick. Huh, it's kind of weird. Have to keep an eye on that, I guess. But that seems like it's the only place that is getting dirty. But everything is still original. Believe it or not, I have not replaced much on this thing. The only thing I've replaced is the air filter. I still have the original one. I think it was okay, but I replaced them anyway. And then the fuel filter on the other side, I replaced that a couple of years ago. And yeah, I used to change the oil in this thing every year, especially when it was new. I would always change it every year, but you know what, that gets to be kind of expensive after a while, and this thing's now 10 years old, so this engine is beyond broken in. And this is my second year now running on that oil. So next year, I'm going to change the oil. Because I think in the book it says about every 200 hours you have to change the engine oil. I think it was every 200 hours. And yeah, I think it was every 200 hours. I don't really remember, but it's John Deere has designed them so you can run long hours without having to really change oils. So I think it was about every 200 hours that you could change the engine oil. And yeah, so that, and I don't think I even put on 100 hours a year. I guess I would have to go back in the book to my last oil change and then count the hours, but I don't think it's been 100, even 100 hours yet. So, and then the same thing with the hydraulic system. I'm going to change that every 2 years as well. Because I don't know what the hour was for changing the oil, the hydraulic oil, but I'm just going to do it every couple of years. That's what I've been doing anyway, because it's just, yeah, that's just what I do. So, and this tractor does not have the 3-point hitch or the 540 PTO. That's an option on these guys. I was thinking about putting one on here a number of years ago, but I think I might just put a front. Well, I want to put a blower on the front, but I kind of wanted a 3-point, so I could run like a brush hog or something on the back. But yeah, that'll probably never happen. I think I might just end up investing in another tractor or garden tractor. Probably just a x748, or I guess I could go a little bit newer and get an x758, you know, but for, I don't know. I know a lot of people, they like to trade these things off every few years, and I can see that because I've had mine for 10 years now. I mean, I bought this thing brand new. I bought this thing brand new in late of 2009. It was like around October of 2009. And it's now October of 2020. So I think it's been 10 years. Or close to it anyway. Whatever the hell it is, it is. So, but you know, yeah, I've had this mower for a lot of years. There's not really a lot wrong with it. I mean, there's some minor repairs that need to be done to make me feel happy. I would like to replace the front tires. So, one, I can get rid of that slimy tire, because I heard slime's actually bad. That's that green slime stuff. And that's actually overdue. They said that was only supposed to last like 2 or 3 years. Well, hell, it's been longer than that. And then that tire doesn't have slime in it, but it has a lot of tire patches and stuff in it. So you can kind of see one there sticking out of the tire on the bottom there. You can see a little patch sticking out. So to make me feel 100% happy, replace the front tires, fix the headlight, and then replace the seat. This tractor would be almost like brand new again. But the problems that I've had kind of since I owned it, it's pretty much just battery related. The battery got dirty that one year, and it just pretty much like the tractor became disconnected from the battery. It was just so dirty and corroded. So cleaned it up, and well, I guess apparently now I actually might inspect that battery next spring. Take it out, take a look at it, clean it up again, because it's been a few years since I've cleaned it. But I think it's just, I don't know, it's still been going. So yeah. So I've never used the 12 volt. This is the on and off switch for that. I've never used it. I finally used the leveler, the deck leveler, and then of course I used the little cubby thing here. I just have a locking pair of locking pliers, a tire gauge, that probably doesn't work because that came with the mower, a rag for cleaning the gauges, and then this is my reel delete thing, because I don't like the reel feature on these mowers, but that's what John Deere does because everybody is a big old freaking vagina. So you have to have, your reel thing here. So if you want to mow in reverse, you got to pull up on that. Well, a lot of people have pretty much they actually have deleted that. You just, I guess, snip a wire or something, or whatever. I don't know, you do something with the wiring and you can pretty much override that. But I found that the stick works just fine too, even though I could do that to the switch. But I guess I just figured, if I do decide someday later on down the road I want to sell it, which honestly I probably never really will, but if I decide to and they want that safety feature, well, then it's never been tampered with. It doesn't bother me to shove the stick under there and be done with it. So I have used the hitch, obviously. That hitch is not exactly the strongest thing in the world, but it works. I've pulled my little cart with this thing, and I pulled our cultivator. We have a little cultivator. I pulled it with this machine too, and yeah. But yeah, that's not very much to talk about because it's. I've had it for 10 years and it's got a little over 500 hours and it's still running strong. I think John Deere built a pretty solid machine. They're more money than, let's say, like Cub Cadet or what's those other cheap ones out there, and other expensive tractors too. Yeah, it's just and then another thing is the sticker's coming off, so I might actually someday talk to my local John Deere dealer and see if maybe they can replace that sticker. I might even, just to be honest with you guys, I might even have to get a whole new hood, because, well, never mind the cat prints, that comes off, but you can't see it. Can't even see it at all. It was, where the hell did it go? Right here. There's a ding in the damn paint. And on the other side, I think it was, somewhere, yeah, right here, big scuff in the paint. I don't know what the hell did that, but, so this hood's, it's not, like, broken, like, you don't have to replace it, but if you want to keep your machine looking like new, I don't think John Deere could paint over that, put a new layer of paint on, because it's, I don't know, because I think this is baked onto the plastic, I don't really know. It's not your freaking normal spray paint, that's for sure. And I think the only way you could fix the paint is you'd have to get a whole new hood. I don't think John Deere could repaint it. Not like the older stuff, like my old International, that was, a steel hood, and that was real paint, so. But yeah. Oh, and the mower deck needs a little bit of work. Needs to be cleaned, but right now I'm chopping leaves, so it's pointless. But I got bolts for that cover. I need to replace those because they're seized on there. And that happens because of wetness and years of crap. That thing there is your garden hose. It comes with like a little attachment you can plug on there, and you're supposed to be able to clean your deck with that, but yeah, mine's pretty much plugged, so I kind of just stopped using it. Everything is still original for when I bought the machine. The belt, original. Blades, original. Tires, everything's original. The only thing I did add, and this was a number of years ago, if I can get in here, is the spinner knob. That's the only thing I've added to it. And the other thing I did was I adjusted the idle. I thought it idled a little bit too high, but now I think the reasons why they had it idling high was to keep the alternator spinning just enough to keep the battery charged. Because now, since I've adjusted the idle, my battery light comes on, and that means that the battery's not getting, I think that means that the alternator's not charging. So, but it honestly doesn't really need to charge anyway when it's at an idle, because at an idle it's just pretty much just cooling down. And then, yeah, I don't really have to idle it, you know, for very long. So yeah, pretty much everything is still original. I have not touched, like I said, the only thing I've done was just adjusted the idle and put the spinner knob on, and other than that, I haven't touched crap. It's still, I mean, I've changed the oil. I mean, that's just general maintenance. You really can't even account that, because that's just, you know, that's just maintenance. That's just to keep these engines running strong and, you know, keep them running, keep them healthy. So, but I think I'm just going to go to about every 2 years to change the engine oil, because I don't think I put on that much for hours. And like I said, I think John Deere said about every 200 hours you have to change the engine, at least engine oil. Well, I don't even think I put on 100 hours a year. As long as I'm just, like, if I'm just strictly mowing with it, I'm definitely not putting on that much for hours. But this tractor gets used for other small jobs, you know, pulling that cart. Even though I usually like to do that with a four-wheeler, it's just more convenient. But I have cultivated a little bit with it here and there and stuff, but the four-wheeler is better for that, and it's just a much heavier machine and whatever else. But overall, I guess I'll kind of just give you my final thoughts, considering the fact that I haven't touched. Looks like that tire actually needs a little bit of air. I'm gonna actually check the tire pressures before I put this machine away for the year. So I'll see if FedEx stops at my house. Nope. I guess nothing's coming here then. All right. So I guess it's kind of just my final thoughts on this guy. You know, I imagine a lot of you guys are wondering too, am I happy with the machine? And the truth is, yes, I am. I'm very happy with it. It's never let me down. Any times that I have had issues, they were just minor problems, and 5 minutes and you're back up and running again. Would I have gotten something else? Well, knowing what I know now, if I would have known about it back in 09, I would have gotten a x748 instead of an x724. This was their largest machine that was sitting at their lot for, you know, mowers. And yeah, so, but if I would have known, if I would have actually, I guess, done a little bit more research and kind of looked around, I could have gotten away without the four-wheel steer, because I mean, it's nice. It's kind of just like another layer of being spoiled, but I could have gotten away without it. Knowing that the x748s were diesel, four-wheel drive, a little more torque and power, I would have gotten one of those instead, because the four-wheel drive would have been a huge improvement for me, because we deal with snow, and these machines are great snowblower machines. I don't know how the x7 or this x724 would do. I've only seen like probably one of them in action, and that was on YouTube, and it seemed like it did all right. So I'm still debating if I really want to put a snowblower on this guy or not, but that would be like $5,000 when all said and done. But it might be worth it. But then you're you know, then you're putting more hours on the machine. But it's a John Deere, so it can handle it. So would I trade it off for an x748? Honestly, probably not. I would probably just keep the x724 and get an x748. Now you'd be like, well, why do you want two machines? You can mow and get the same results with an x748. Yeah, I wouldn't expect any less from that, you know. It's just that with more machines, you're not putting all the wear and tear on just one machine. So X724 would always just be a mower tractor, which is what it's always been for me, and it's pulled the cart every now and then and other things. But its main job here is mowing. Whereas if I got an X748, I would put a snowblower on the front, a 3-point hitch and a 540 PTO on the back, and there goes FedEx. And I probably would put a front end loader on this thing. Now I know a lot of guys are gonna be like, wait, you just said you're gonna put a loader on that thing. Well, I was thinking about putting a loader on this guy, but I know a lot of people are like, oh, you're not going to get shit for that loader. I mean, it's not going to really do you much good. No, I'm not going to be able to move mountains. I'm not going to be able to probably could almost pick up my four-wheeler. You know, if I put enough wheel weights on the back. The four-wheeler only weighs like 900 pounds, but it probably would be pretty much right at the limit of what that loader probably could handle. But no, the loader would be for moving dirt, you know, like loose dirt, and then snow. Because there are going to be times where a loader would be a lot better than a blower, because we get heavy snow, and then when the road plow comes by and he buries your driveway with 4 feet of crap that you can't even move, you know, it's going to put a lot of excessive wear on the blower, you know, especially if it gets hard. So if you could bust it out with a loader and then just push it into a ditch or something, then you'll never have to worry about it. So if I didn't get an X748, I probably would put a loader on this guy just to kind of help out with snow removal. But then if I get a blower on the front, you know, then I don't know. I'm still debating on snow blowers. I was thinking about maybe just getting a walk behind, something decent, you know, and maybe just putting a loader on this guy, or just get an X748, put a blower on that guy, and then put a loader on this. Still put the loader on this guy, and then it will be, you know, it'll be that. So, but overall, yeah, I can't complain about it. It's been a very reliable machine. Mind you, I haven't really abused the piss out of it, but I do a lot of mowing. My yard is just under 1 acre. It's about like 0.9 acres. And then I do some roadside over at the farm. And with everything else that I mow through, there's other areas that I mow. I think by the time I'm done, I'm at about 1.5 acres probably. Maybe even closer to 2 acres that I mow year round. Oh, every year, every summer. And then there's times where I have to mow the farmyard, and that's probably already another acre right there. But that's only when their mower breaks down, because we have a John Deere mower there too, and that's a John Deere x724. So it's a pretty old school mower, but we bought that thing brand new too. I think back in the 80s or 90s, whenever that mower was built. My great grandparents bought that thing new, and we've owned it ever since. So, but yeah, this has been a very reliable machine for me. I've had no issues with it. I mean, some minor stuff, but that's not really a big deal because it's fixable and I didn't have to take it to a dealer, you know. Like if the engine was to grenade or or the transmission wants to start pissing hydraulic oil, and it has to be taken to a dealer, to me that's considered a breakdown, and that's where it would hurt my bottom line because I don't have a mower, you know. So, but it doesn't matter. I don't think we'll ever have any issues with anything blowing up, you know, because it doesn't get pushed that hard. So, but yeah, putting a snowblower on this thing would actually be pretty sweet, you know, at least for trying it, you know, and seeing how it would handle. Obviously, you would have to put wheel weights on the back or something. And then, yeah. Another thing I wouldn't mind picking up is a bagger for the leaves. That's something else I might want to invest in someday, but I think they're like $1,300 from John Deere. They're kind of expensive. So, but yeah, overall, I've been very happy with the machine. Been very, very reliable for me. I know they're a lot more money, but you know what? You get what you pay for, though. You take good care of it. You grease it when it needs to be greased. You know, change the engine oil when it needs it, and hydraulic oil when it needs it, and you know, just keep it clean and keep an eye on your gauges and whatever else. And yeah, I know that another YouTuber of mine, he had a x724. It's an older one than this, and his fill gauge don't work. And I find that kind of, I think it's just the gauge itself. It's got to be either the gauge, or it's got to be the thing under the seat that tells you how much fuel you got. And then that probably would be an easy fix. I think even he could do it himself. But they just got done putting a whole whack of money into it already, investing in a new front end snowblower because their old one was wore out. So, but yeah, I know a lot of people like Kubota and all those other stuff. Yeah, they're good machines and stuff, but I'm gonna stick with John Deere. I wish John Deere wasn't so expensive, but you know what? Getting 10 years out of a machine with no problems, I'd say that's pretty freaking good. A lot of people, they seem to get lemons and then they're pissed off and then they put John Deere down. It's like, well, it's going to happen. Everybody's going to get a lemon here and there, and then, you know, just get it fixed and then it should be good as new. So, but yeah, my final thoughts. Been very happy with it. Very reliable. Wouldn't trade it in for anything else. I would actually add to my fleet and get an x748, or if I wanted a new one, I would go with an x758. And put a blower on that, and then put a loader on this guy. Like I said, the loader wouldn't get used that much, but a little bit of snow removal, you know, it'd be nice. You could even put the loader on the x748. Like I could put it on this guy and then take it off and go put it on the other tractor if I wanted to. You know, whatever else. And it's already, these tractors already come plumbed with the hydraulics. So, and this one right now, raising lowers the mower deck, but this would be your bucket if you had a loader. Or if you had a snowblower, this would be your chute for left and right. And then this would be up and down for your loader, or up and down on your blower, because it's got float on it. So that's where, if you had a snowblower in the front, you could just put that in float and the blower will kind of follow the ground. Which is nice if you don't want to, you know, you don't want to scalp the grass too bad. You can decrease the chances by just putting that in the float, and you'd be a lot better off. So, but yes, overall, I'm very happy with it. Very reliable, and don't plan on getting rid of it anytime soon. If anything, I'm probably going to add to my fleet, and yeah. But I'm going to have to get another shed built because I'm running out of storage still. And, yeah. But yeah, I'm going to have to fix the headlight and then replace the seat. And this machine will be a lot better off looking, so. But yeah, so there you go, guys. That's just a 500-hour 500 hours later kind of thing. Looks like I did with the four-wheelers, but now I'm doing it with the mower. And been very happy with it. I don't plan on getting rid of it anytime soon. Why get rid of it if it ain't broke, you know? A lot of people will say, why get rid of it? If it ain't broke, why fix it? Well, there ain't nothing wrong with this, so why replace it? I know there's a lot of people replace their stuff every year because they want to have the new fancy high-tech top of the line. Yeah, screw that. I don't need it. I just want something that'll last me, you know. If I got the rest of my life out of this machine, that'd be awesome, but I won't know that. So I'm already at 500 hours, so now we'll see what 1,000 hours it looks like. Hopefully by then it'll definitely have a new seat and, you know, and honestly, the mower deck could be sent in and repainted, but I don't know. So, it is what it is. So anyways, guys, I guess I'm going to take off. So I guess have a good day and stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Take her easy.